First of all, Dave, thank you. Second of all, where were you coming from? Were you on a business trip?
I was on a business trip in Munich, and I was making a very quick trip over the weekend to Hamburg to see a friend.
Okay, and then you obviously have been overseas many a times, nothing like this. We've all experienced the run-of-the-mill turbulence, but what was this like?
This was not like turbulence. It was like a roller coaster, and that during our descent, not just the landing, but the descent, we were being tossed up and down and side to side, and there were actually brief moments when I could not feel the seat below me.
You guys were all wearing your seatbelt, obviously, but you were.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what the person next to you you probably didn't know that person, but did you hold on to that person's hand? I mean, were you screaming? Were other people screaming, terrified?
No, no one was screaming. It was dead silent. People
Really?
were short of breath. Yes, I couldn't breathe. I had to catch my breath. Yeah, people were praying and grabbing the neighbor next to them. I had a stuffed bear my daughter had snuck in my luggage.
Oh.
And it was just silent. And when we finally did land, after the aborted landing, everyone cheered and applauded. It was a very triumphant moment.
Okay, so how long before the plane actually landed? You tried to land. The pilot tried to land the first time, and then what? It was aborted.
Well, the first landing, we could tell all the way that he was coming in at the plane was going down the runway, but the nose was pointed at a good distance away, and that was because of the high wind. And, of course, when you land, you have to put the wheels down toward the runway, and so when he did that turn, the wing popped up. I was sitting by the left side. I saw the wing go down and hit the ground. Then we saw the runway disappear out of view, and then the most scary part was when, at that moment, the pilot really gunned the engines hard. They roared, and until that point, I had been trusting that air traffic control and the pilot knew what they were doing, and that's when I knew something had gone wrong.
So you went back up, and can you approximate, I know it's tough to recall, but how long it took you to finally make that safe landing? Oh,
we went back up. We probably circled for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And
did they announce something? Did they say, okay, everybody stay calm, it's going to be okay?
Not for a while. Maybe the pilot had to catch his breath, too, like the rest of us. I don't know. But after a while, the pilot did come on. He said he had convinced air traffic control not to use that runway anymore, and we were going to land on a different runway, so we would go into the wind instead of into a crosswind.
Okay, so you finally land successfully. I mean, are there cheers? Are people clapping? What's going on at that point?
Oh, yeah. So on the second approach into the wind, it was just as bumpy up and down, but we did not have the side-to-side rocking. Everyone was, of course, dead silent again. And when we finally landed, it was just a big cheer. Everyone applauded. It was a very jubilant moment.
Big kudos, of course, to the pilot of experience of 17 years. Did you have a chance to check in with him or chat with him?
I did not. I would like to have given him a high five. Yeah. I feel sad that air traffic control gave him that runway, because I know that he had to land it by making a quick left turn right before the wheels hit, and I know, I'm not a pilot, but I'm an engineer. I know that when you turn left, the air goes faster over the right wing, producing a lift, and then we had a strong gust, and the plane turned into a sailboat. So I know that air traffic control really gave him a tough job, and it's too bad.
And all of those people safely out of the plane, no injuries reported, a safe landing. I'm sure you are not the only person on that plane that wanted to give that pilot a high five. All right, David Gehring from Wisconsin, now in Munich. Thanks so much for checking in and sharing your story.
Sure.